Hello, welcome to Politics Southeast. In the next half hour, have you been approached by this man online? Maybe you're in love with him. If so, you definitely want to watch this. We'll be joined by Brighton's Steve Bustin, whose face has been stolen by romance scammers around the world. Also on the programme, does this apartment building appeal to you? These could be put up in one of our seaside towns, though local outrage might yet stop them.
When I saw the denseness and how out of keeping it was, I was shocked, and I said it was hideous to the designer. Everything about it's wrong.
And would you like to see more of these in the southeast? Permission to build onshore wind farms is about to get easier. Hello, welcome to Politics Southeast. This week, exclusive new evidence that hundreds of missing asylum-seeking children could have been trafficked into gangs.
These are, vulnerable children that should be looked after a lot more than they are, and it looks like just absolutely nothing been done over the last 18 months.
Also this week, how can politicians make sure our seaside towns are great places for young people to live?
The Nest is such a safe space for young people to be able to develop what they do and be who they are and just feel so comfortable in the environment they're in, and there's definitely not enough of that in Hastings.
And we'll meet the man campaigning to reinstate 14 of the Southeast's lost railway lines. In the next half hour, when was the last time you got stuck on the Dartford crossing? We'll discuss plans for a new tunnel under the Thames.
That'd be helpful, wouldn't it? It'd save a lot of people a lot of hassle like we've just had sitting in the car with young children.
Halloween is round the corner. We'll find out how to make sure those pumpkins don't go to waste.
We started thinking about how can we use the skin, how can we use the insides, how can we serve it in more than one way and get people really excited about it. And that's a huge part of our ethos.
And did you remember to turn your clocks back this morning? We'll meet the Sussex man who says we should refuse to let British summertime end. Hello, good morning. Welcome to Politics Southeast. In the next half hour, a year on from the murder of Sarah Everard, Kent Police are still under investigation over their handling of an allegation of indecent exposure linked with her killer. We'll ask whether flashing is taken seriously as a crime.
Historically, it has been thought of as kind of a bit of a laugh because of the way that it's been portrayed in the media, and I think that is a huge problem.
Hundreds of children with special needs and disabilities struggle to get to school this week after Kent County Council messed up their home-to-school transport. We're going to meet one of the families affected.
My friends get a lot of anxiety if I'm not in. So if I'm not in, they're going to be like, is she okay? Is there something wrong? And it's really upsetting.
And it's been a week of frustration for thousands of you who went without power or water for days following storms Franklin and Eunice. But do you think the response from the authorities was good enough? Hello and welcome to Politics Southeast. In the next half hour, as the political heavyweights descend on Kent and Sussex, clamouring for your votes, we'll take a look at the state of the race across our region. But while politicians tour the southeast, migrants continue to risk their lives crossing the Channel. How big an issue will small boats be at this election?
The choice of this election is clear, because if I'm re-elected as Prime Minister on the 5th of July, these flights will go.
And could scenes like this become a reality on the Isle of Sheppey? We meet the man who says a centuries-old document could transform one of our most deprived areas into a new Monaco.
I think it would be a fantastic idea, because you've got Jersey, you've got Andorra, they've all got their principalities, you've got Gibraltar. Why not?
Hello, welcome to Politics Southeast. In the next half hour, how did a man with links to fascism end up as an elected Conservative politician? We'll ask the leader of Kent County Council. Also on the programme, for you, we'll look at energy bills, mortgages and the prospects for small businesses in the southeast after the Chancellor's statement.
It's not just the people on benefits that are struggling anymore, it's people like us that have good incomes that can't afford sometimes to pay their bills.
And the Southeast's unpaid carers tell us what support they need to look after their relatives.
Caring for your spouse is really very different, it's very emotionally taxing.
Hello and welcome to Politics Southeast. In the next half hour,
They call themselves Lord of the Bins, but the owners of the Hobbit franchise aren't happy with these Brighton waste collectors.
We can't take these guys to court because they've got very deep pockets, so that's really when the panic kicked in.
Also on the programme, building on the green belt. We'll hear the bold plan from a man who wants thousands of new homes around our rural stations.
We moved from London to get away from this. I know it's very much not in my backyard, but I'm not keen on it.
And we'll meet the women who say they've been forced out of work by the cost of childcare.
Women aren't worth it. They don't care if we're in the workforce or not. They're not encouraging us. It's like they don't want us at the table.
Hello and welcome to Politics South East. In the next half hour, it's nearly 2 years since 786 P&O ferry workers were brutally fired. But what's happened since? We'll catch up with the only sacked seafarer not to take a payoff and free to speak publicly. Also on the programme, what can we do about the derelict buildings that blight some of our towns? We'll meet the Sussex developers turning them into affordable properties.
We have an absolute crisis in Hastings, and of course the housing crisis is everywhere, but the version here is very acute because it was an affordable place.
And as both Kent and Sussex police announce multi-million-pound budget gaps, we'll ask what the impact could be on fighting crime.
Every crime is a priority to that individual, but now we will have to prioritise even more the crimes that we deal with, and we might have to be selective around what crimes we do deal with.